Hello, everyone. Hello. Welcome to Secret. I have a deep secret to share with you, and it relates to the principle of commitment. Okay? Don't take this word lightly because there is a huge secret in the idea of commitment, total commitment, in fact. And I'll tell you from the get go that anything that you are totally committed to, you will succeed at. Not only you will, you must succeed when you have a total commitment to something. So let me explain. I want to go into the deeper teachings of the Kabbalists, the 10 luminous emanations to be exact. And there is a principle there that the Rav Ashlag, who was a huge Kabbalist mystic, explained from the writings of the Ari. If you don't know the Ari was called the Lion, the Holy Lion, and he was the greatest Kabbalist of the 15th century. And so he revealed in his works the tree of life, or the fruit of the tree of life, that the principle of tzimtzum, tzimtzum is a disconnect, okay? Let's just call it that, a disconnect. The principle of tzimtzum applies only to the malchut. Well, what does that mean? It means the final stage of manifestation of anything. This principle of tzimtzum, when it's understood, and this is not the place to go into the details of the tzimtzum, but the tzimtzum only applies to the final stage of manifestation of any process. We know there's different stages to every process. You know, if you want to eat, you don't just automatically have food. Maybe you got to get up out of your chair. You got to go to the kitchen. You got to prepare. You got to, do the cooking. And then, when you're done, you will reap the benefits of the process, which is eating the food. And now you'll be fulfilled. So whether we understand that or not, there are different stages. There are 4 stages in every single process. In that one, and in every process. Those 4 processes represent the 10 dimensions of energy, or the 10 sephirot. Again, I'm not going into the details of those things. That's for the learning of 10 luminous emanations, which you may hear about more shortly in a very practical way. Because this is the path to the endless light of the Creator, to being connected always to this energy force, or the force of creation, the Creator's light, which is the beneficence of everything. This tzimtzum applies only to the final stage of manifestation of any process. However, if that would be true, meaning there's a disconnection, meaning the fulfillment that you once felt goes away. That's in essence what tzimtzum means. Any form of lack represents a tzimtzum, a disconnect of sorts. So whether you understand that whole idea or not, what is important to understand is there's a disconnect. So any lack in life, in the environment, anywhere, there's only one reason. And that reason, according to the Kabbalist, is called tzimtzum, the contraction or the disconnect. But if that is in fact true, then we would feel a disappearance only in the end of the process, but all the other phases of our process would be fulfilled, would still have energy. It would only be the last stage that would lack. And that would mean I feel great fulfillment in everything except the end. But it doesn't work that way in life. When the fulfillment in our life in a given area disappears, it all disappears. If you bought a new car and you loved it for 3 months, you washed it every day, and then pretty soon you stopped washing the car, now it's got 6 inches of dust on it, and it's just a car. You don't feel the same way about it. You don't feel the same way about your relationship. You don't feel the same way about whatever. So it's not just the fulfillment of the car or the whatever that disappears. It kind of all disappears. We don't feel, unquestionably fulfilled in everything except the last thing. No, it just sort of all burns out to whatever degree, if you understand what I mean. So even though, according to the Kabbalists, that Tzimtzum is only on the final stage, which means wherever the energy is manifest, Tzimtzum affects the entire process. And that's what he says. The Tzimtzum affects the entire process. Why? Because there's a rule. He gives us a rule, a cosmic rule. Listen carefully, because this can change our life. And this is something you can definitely share with your friends if they understand Kabbalah, if they don't, if they're a student, if they're not. This is something everyone can benefit from. And here's the rule. He says there is no partial in spirituality. There is no partial in spirituality. Let me explain. What do you mean spirituality? It means spiritual energy. Energy. Love is energy. Happiness is energy. You can't be partially happy. You're happy or you're not. It's very simple. In the moment that you're happy, you're happy. A moment later, maybe you're not happy. But it's kind of on or off. The same thing with love. You can't love 52%. And what's happening with the other 48%? 48%, I hate you, and 52%, I love you. Is that life? No. Or you feel love, or you don't. It's like that with any form of energy. Emotions are energy. And the effort we put into things are also the energy that we put in. You see, it's easier to see with how we feel about things, but way less easier to see when it comes to putting energy and effort into the things in our life. So if we understand this rule, when he says there's no partial in spirituality, or the vessel is completely full with the effort that I make, or it's not at all. What does that translate to into real life? Well, let's say you're working on a job, or you're operating a business, or you have a project, or whatever it is that you find yourself doing, or you're in a relationship, and you don't put all your effort and energy into it, because maybe you're not sure, you're not sure if you care about this person 100%, or you don't like the job you're in, but you're doing it right now until the next better thing comes along. You understand what I mean? You're not all in. You're not putting the totality of your energy in. You don't have total commitment in what you're doing. The vessels or the sphirot are empty. And therefore, it cannot succeed. The final manifestation, there can't be a final manifestation of a successful outcome, meaning a fulfillment can't be. It won't work. Why? Because there is no partial in spirituality. It's on or off. It's sort of like the lights. The lights are on or they're off. There are no dimmers in the spiritual world. Okay? You can be on the way. So this stage in my process is full. You can do that. You haven't reached maybe the final stage. That's different. That's different. But every stage of your process needs to be with, again, we're using the phrase a total commitment, a total in. I'm all in. I'm totally committed to making dinner. And it's going to be amazing, whatever it tastes like. But however it's going to work out, it's going to be great. When you do it kind of half-heartedly, it's half-hearted and it won't be enjoyable. Anything we do half-hearted, and it's interesting, half-hearted, where does this expression even come from? Half a heart. You put half a heart? Well, the heart is the seat of desire. It means your desire is not total in what you're doing. You're not totally sure you want it, and therefore you're not willing to make the total effort for what you want to do. And therefore, again, there is no partial in spirituality. There's no partial in spiritual energy. There's no partial in energy. Or I have total commitment in what I'm doing, or I don't want to have total commitment because I just don't, I can't be totally committed to that person, to that job, to this thing. I don't feel it. That's okay. You don't feel it? Well, but then you need to find what you do feel. Makes sense, right? We all need to be and work on finding what we can be committed, totally committed to in life. We're going to have a happy, successful, and fulfilled life. But of course, that's the challenge of life very often, is finding those things that we can be committed to. But at least we need to know that that's one of the goals in life. It's one of our tasks in life. To be a happy and fulfilled person, you have to find the things that you truly believe in, that you can really be committed to, and that you can put your effort in wholeheartedly. Because there's no point. If you do it half-heartedly, well, what's the point exactly? It's not going to bring you the feedback. It's not going to bring you the energy. It's not going to bring you what you're looking for. But then you have to ask yourself another question. Well, what are you looking for? Different question. That also needs to be answered. I hope this will help us. I mean, it can help us change everything once we understand this secret. That we have to be able to feel totally committed in what we're doing. And if we don't, okay, it means I need to find, I need to feel, I need to see those things in my life that I can totally commit to, focus on them. That will bring me more energy and power to be able to find the other things in life. Maybe the right relationship, maybe the right career, maybe the right whatever, the right friends that I also can be committed to, because one thing leads to the other. Also very important. So remember the rule, there's no partial, there's no such thing as half-hearted, not being totally committed. Success, happiness, fulfillment will come from anything that we are able to completely throw ourselves into with a full heart, totally committed. Where your head is at, that's where you're at. All the best, guys. Be blessed, and I will see you on the next video. All the best.